Okay everybody, I'm going to try to show you how to take part in my basic practice event, race, time trial, show you everything from scratch hopefully. So I've loaded Sailaway, it's put me straight into my boat. I'm going to press escape, go into boat. I want to be sure that I'm in my Nordic folk boat because for the reasons I described earlier, that is the smallest, most dinghy-like boat that the game supports. So I'm going to pick my Nordic folk boat in case I hadn't done that already, and then resume the game or whatever that button is called in your case. And here I am in my Nordic folk boat. I happen to be back at SBSC. So I'm going to do my time trial that I've set up. So I'm going to press escape. My thing is an activity, so press activities. My thing is a challenge, not a race, because a race has a start time and everyone has to compete at the same time. I wanted something that people could do repeatedly or at different times, so mine is a challenge. You see, and then up here you see where it says search. There's no box unfortunately, but if you click in search and type SBSC, enter. There's currently only one thing in the game called SBSC, which is my Santa Cruz des Flores Boys 1 Lap SBSC. A short, simple, square course for, I hope I've set this up right, for casual races and practice. Automatic help features are disabled by MDS. I'm going to press the play button. And it tells me again what it is. First thing you might notice is that my boat is still in Putney, but the race is in the Azores. So look, here's a button, teleport to start. I'm going to click that. Why the Azores? Because it gets dark later. It's sort of still getting a bit dark here in the Azores, but anyway, here I am. If I look to the west, dragging with the right mouse button, I can see that the sun is setting over the Azores. And what we have here in the Azores is these permanent buoys, which for some reason in this game are enormous rusty structures. And the orange floating things are the actual official race buoys, but I've tried to put them very close to the real scenery so that we can kind of use them both. You can actually sail through them all. There is no collision in this game. Okay, so because it's a challenge, you don't have to wait for the starting time. Your time is just measured from when you cross the line. And what the game helpfully does, if I zoom in here, is it draws the starting line in the air for me as this green dotted line. So there's my starting line. So I want to sail over that. Now the easiest way, I showed you how to like click your way around the boat. That's quite fun when you're just chilling, but the way to control the boat when time is of the essence, if you press Q or E, you have to put your left hand on Q and E. Q and E cycles through. Let me get rid of this. How do I get rid of this? I guess this goes away once the race starts. You can drag this by grabbing the bar at the top. You can change lines with Q and E. Backstay, main halyard, jib halyard, backstay, main halyard, jib halyard. I guess the other lines are disabled because my sails are down. So I want to put my sails up, of course, which I think will automatically raise the anchor. So I'm going to keep pressing E until I get the jib halyard. And then I'm going to do S for pull, which is intentionally use your middle finger to work the lines. So I'm going to hold down S to pull on the jib halyard. And 100% is fully pulled, fully raised. So there you go. I'm going to press E some more until I get the main halyard. And now look here in the bottom right, when I press Q and E, what line I'm using changes. So I'm going to press E to go through them until I get the main halyard, and then again S to pull. It's W to release and S to pull, because W is further away from you and S is closer to you. 100%. Okay, both my sails are raised. You steer with A and D, so it's all ready for your left hand. I'm going to come around to port, so I'm going to hold down A. The anchor just sort of takes care of itself. I don't think you can capsize in this game, which seems like an oversight. What happened to my mainsail? You'll remember from before that you can change your position by finding the blue circle and clicking on it. Ah yes, I still have the reef in. Okay, so it's very windy here in the Azores apparently. So if I do my E again, tab through all the things, main and Q to go back, here we go, main reef. If I release that with W, the mainsail goes up further. But the amount of heel I'm getting seems a bit ridiculous, so I'm actually going to reef the mainsail. I haven't yet figured out how these pretend simulated boats behave, so let's just put a big reef in. Right, so look here on the map. If I move the map and then drag the corner to make it bigger, and then drag the map to move my point of view, it's not actually a square, is it? It's a rectangle. Oh well. What I've done is I've put the starting line between these two marks. And then we have, so the wind is coming from behind me now, southwesterly. So the first one is almost a run. The first leg is almost a run out to that orange buoy you can see there on the horizon. So I'm just using A and D to steer. And I obviously, given that this is supposed to be a run, I am really too close hauled. So again, I'm going to switch to my main sheet and jib sheet and use W to release the lines until I get roughly the sail setting that I want. You can see that the race buoys are not quite where I wanted them to be, but it's close enough. Oh, that's too far out. S to bring this thing back in again. There you go. MDS on SBSC, that's the name of my boat, need to change that, has started. So now the name of the game is fiddling with my sails for maximum effect. Whoop, crikey, it's a bit violent. So what you can see on the horizon there is that the buoys project these massive signs in the sky to make sure you know which way to go around it. So that is a port mark, which you can also see if you zoom in very closely. Well, it's a bit hard to see, but there's an anti-clockwise arrow drawn on the map. And also this green line here is essentially the line. It's like a gate with one end. It's the line you have to cross to be considered to have gone around the mark. So now I just have to get around the course as fast as I can. I wonder if the reef is really helping. Well, we'll get to that. The info tab has some nice stuff on it, but really here these navigational tools are to a large extent everything you need. Here's your speed, so you can tell whether your sail adjustments are doing you good or harm. And in fact speed over ground, because there is some current, but that's fine tuning. Let's not get into that. Anyway, it's only 1/10 of a knot. Yep, and look, here's all your wind indicators. True wind, apparent wind. I guess the longer one is true and the shorter one is apparent. There's also a handy flag here on the back, which is quite a nice way to check the wind direction in a hurry. So let's see. Well, let me get onto the other leg and then see whether how it behaves with different reef settings. I'm going to do a very violent jibe now, but fortunately this game doesn't really punish you for violent jibes. So let's get around the mark. And then, left that a bit late. Okay, MDS. Oof, MDS. Got to click up here to move up. There's no hiking, unfortunately. MDS on SBSC has passed the mark, and there's the next one marked on my map. And as you can see, the green line and green arrow now shows the next mark that I have to get to. So let's see, bring in the main sheet to the, no, maybe not. That's actually kind of the same. This is essentially the same point of sail as the last leg. Right, let's have a go with the reefing. So again, Q and E, let's find the reef, main reef at 100%. I'm currently going about 4.6 down the waves and 4.3 up them. So, oh heck. Okay, so if you select a sheet and then don't work with it, it defaults back to the main after a few seconds. That's annoying. Right, main reef. Going to release that all the way. Yeah, you can't do this in real life, can you? In full sail, but video games. Now doing 6 knots. Okay, all right. So the reefing was not necessary. I was overdoing it. The other boats, I mentioned this last time, the other boats have got choice of jibs, which is fun. So like the little normal standard cruising yacht has got spinnaker and a storm jib, as well as a jib, so that's nice. I will probably edit now some bits of this video out because it's just going to be me fiddling with my sails for about another 10 minutes probably. Alright, so again I've managed to put the buoy pretty close to the actual the permanent landscape buoy. Very pretty close hauled here. About to tack around the 3rd mark. It's getting dark, so what I can do is click on the eye, click on the light bulb, turn my navigation lights on, and I also get a nice little imaginary red head torch for night vision preservation in the dark. I missed my turning. Well, I never said I was good at sailing. This is pathetic. Alright, bear away. See if I can go a bit faster. Yeah, it's too close hauled. Should have just aimed for a point further down the line. And now when I cross this line, there we go. MDS finished in 11 minutes 37 seconds. Cool. Wheel, anchor, anchor again. Sails go down by themselves. Imaginary anchor drops. There we go. And then finally, you're technically, even though you've finished, you're technically still loaded into the challenge. So you need to press escape and choose to quit current challenge. You will lose progress. Well, that's fine. I already finished the race. And it thinks a bit. And then I'm still where I was, but now... Oh no, I was wrong. It's put me back to where I was before. It's put me back in London. Okay, so that's how you do a challenge.